गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Om. Dear friends, we have to read this 21st shloka now. In the earlier shloka, Krishna was giving the examples of the philosopher kings. Karmana ivahi samsiddhim asthita janakadayah. So he was giving the example of philosopher kings. In our tradition, we have got the system of philosopher kings. In fact, the fourth chapter of this Gita, Krishna, in this fourth chapter, Krishna is going to tell more clearly about this philosopher kings, Rajarshi. He is going to use a word called Rajarshi. Rajarshi means he is a king and a Rishi. Rajanaschate Rishayascha, that is Rajarshaya, philosopher kings. So he gave the examples of these philosopher kings who were realized persons and at the same time doing karma. So Krishna is telling all this to Arjuna to tell them that this is not something which is some exceptional instruction or advice which I am giving to you. This is the dharma. This is the Kshatriya dharma. If you are not a realized person, you do your karma in karma yoga mode. If you think that you are a jnani, if you are really a jnani, even then you have to do this because this is an action which is there, your prarabdha karma. You are not supposed to relinquish your prarabdha karma. You are born as a Kshatriya. Your duty is to do this. So that particular duty you have to do and you can't relinquish. That will become a sort of dereliction of duty. So that is what he said in the earlier shloka. Loka sangraham sampashyan. By keeping in mind this loka sangraha, by keeping in mind the fact that you are supposed to hold people away from moving on a wrong path. So that's what he said. Then this particular shloka, he is continuing. So he is saying, I will read out, Yadyad acharati shreshthas tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Yadyad acharati shreshthas tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. So the overall meaning is like this. Whatever a great person does, all other people they follow. People emulate him. Whatever good, we see all role models today. So nowadays we follow. We don't follow Rama or say Krishna. We follow some film actor or film actress, either in their manners or dress, etc., dress code, and then say the way of speaking, etc. Anyway, they are supposed to be the Shreshtas today. They are certainly not Shreshtas, but unfortunately, because of reversal of values, we are considering all these film fellows as Shreshtas. So, but the real Shrestha is somewhere different. So, the meaning of this line is, Yadyad acharati Shreshtaha. Whatever a great man does, other people they emulate. And then, Sayat pramanam kurute. Whatever standard he sets up, whatever benchmark, whatever standard he sets up, lokaha tad anuvartate. So, the loka, the people, they follow that. So that is the general meaning of the shloka. Let us see the splitting of words. Yat acharati. Yadyad acharati is yat plus yat. Whatever. Yat plus yat means whatever. Yaha means the person who. Yat, that whatever. Yat plus yat, yadyat, whatever. Acharati, shreshtaha, tat, that. Whatever he does, that is being followed. Whatever one does, the other is following. So tat, that particular thing. Tat and that are one and the same. Tat, tad eva means only. Itaraha janaha. Tat eva itaraha janaha. Then second line is saha. Yat sa is saha. Yat pramanam, yat plus pramanam kurute lokaha tat plus anuvartate, tad anuvartate. Tat plus anuvartate becomes tad anuvartate. So this is the structure. So let us see the first line. First line, what is the subject here? Who is now the performer? The subject is Yadyad acharati shrestha. So some shrestha is about something is told about the shrestha. What is he doing? Acharati. He is performing some action. What is it? The yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Whatever a shrestha does, whatever a shrestha means a noble, not exactly a noble person, whatever a great man. in that sense only. Great person, a great man. Disciplined, great person. Let us not say noble person. When you say noble person, it refers to say the royal clan or something like that. A man may be born in a royal clan, but he may not be a good man. He may be a villainous person. So we are not referring to the jati of a person. We are referring to the qualities. When we are referring to the qualities, that is why it is called Shrestha. Shrestha, a great man, yad acharati, whatever he does, tat tadeva, that only, itaraha janaha means the other person also, acharati is, it applies there also. Yad shrestha acharati, tat itaraha janaha api acharati, itaro janaha api acharati, that follows. Yat raja acharati, tat prajaha acharanti. Yad raja acharati, tad prajaha acharanti, tad anye janaha acharanti. So that is the meaning. Then saha yat pramanam kurute. Saha, that particular shrestha, sa refers to shrestha, that particular shrestha, that great man, whatever pramanam means a particular standard. Pramanam, let us see what is the, pramanam, the meaning here given is demonstration, or whatever it is. Pramanam is some type of standard. So he functions in a particular manner. So whatever manner, the manner in which he functions, that is emulated by all other people. Sa yat pramanam kurute, whatever standard he establishes. Lokaha means the whole world. The whole world, it refers to all other people. Lokaha is a singular word, though it is referring to the whole world. Lokaha, sometimes you may take it to mean a single person also. Lokaha means every man. In that sense, Lokaha means every man. Tat anuvartate, every person. Tat anuvartate. Tat means tat pramanam anuvartate. Saha raja yat pramanam kurute. Lokaha, that is itaro janaha api tadeva pramanam anuvartate. Anu means follow. Anu is going behind. Anuvartate means he goes behind, he follows, he does the same. So anuvartate, anuvartanam. So raja yat kurute, lokaha api tadeva kurute, tadeva anuvartate. So that is the general meaning. So again that shloka, yatha raja tatha praja, that is just as a king functions, the other people also function in a same manner. So the basic point here in this shloka is, society has in mind certain role models. Society actually needs some good role models. If there are no good role models, they follow bad role models. So that also happens. There can be situations where there are some good role models. So suppose the time of independence, we had our struggle for independence. We had all great leaders who were leading all this independence movement. All those leaders were great scholars. They were scholars, whether it is Gandhi or some such other people, Rajaji or Nehru, they were all great scholars. So they were all scholars and at the same time very scholars and enlightened people, and they were also leaders. So the people followed them. Now suppose we say we don't have a good leader. So we will follow all these film actors. Some stupid, some film actor says something and then we believe in that. So this is what happens. So we at any point of time, we have to see who are the good role models and who are the bad role models. So these bad role models we have to avoid. They may be there, very prominently seen, but then we have to avoid all those bad role models. So society at any point of time leads role models, and then if you don't find them in society, we have to at least see, we have to read the history of those good people. So that is why we have got biographies, we have got lives of great men, we have got lives of great people. So biographies, reading biography is a great habit. In fact, all the children, if you give them some good nice biographies. For example, long ago, I read one autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin was an American leader. How from very, very humble beginnings, how he came up, what are the qualities he acquired over a period of time, how he improved his language, all those things. So you see a great man's life, it may be a biography or an autobiography. So those great people's biographies, they leave a great impact on the children. So it is necessary that we pick up some good biographies and then give to the children. So this is one thing which we see. So Shrestha yad yad acharati tadeva itaro janah anusarati tadeva acharati. Shrestha yat pramanam kurute tadeva lokah, that is itaro janah anuvartate. So saha api tadeva kurute. So that is the shloka. Let us see the next shloka. Then in this shloka, I will just read out. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. So let us see, the overall meaning is like this. Krishna is giving his own example. Okay, I told about other kings and all that, and I told about all other people. You look at me only. You look at me only. I have nothing to do, because Krishna is an avatara. Krishna, we remember that he is an avatara. Avatara, we know the meaning of avatara. Avatarati, one who descends onto the earth. So that is, we have visualized one, say, Ishvara, a functional god at the level of cosmos, and that functional god, by some amsha, by a small amsha of his, it descends in the form of some great man. That amsha of that cosmic being, it comes on to the earth in some great form. That coming down to the earth in some great form is called avatara. Avatarati means descends. Saha yanad avatarati means he gets down from the vehicle. Yanam is vehicle. Saha karyanad avatarati. Saha vimanayanad avatarati. Avatarati means he gets down from that. So avatara. So for him, for an avatara Purusha, there is no duty as such. So kartavyam, there is nothing to as kartavyam. And then, because he himself is God, there is nothing to obtain from elsewhere, nothing to get from elsewhere, and nothing which he does not have. Everything is his only. So that is what he says. In all the three worlds, Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana, Name Parthasti Kartavyam. I don't have any Kartavyam. Kartavyam is something which I have to jolly well do. Then Na Anavaptam, something which I don't have. Avaptavyam, something which I have to acquire. There is nothing. But still, Varta Evacha Karmani. I am doing my karma. Because why is he doing karma? Because as an avatara, he has got into an upadhi. He has got into a limited upadhi. Upadhi means, say he is not in the form of the same, say Vishnu or anything. He is born in an ordinary king's family, that Vasudeva and say Devaki, and then he is raised by somebody else. What is that man? Say this, the other man, the person who raises Lord Krishna. So in that cowherd family, he is raised. So that is what happens. Radha is his mother, Radheya. Yashoda, not Radha, Radheya is different. Yashoda and the other gentleman, we are forgetting anyway. Yashoda and okay. So he is raised in a cowherd family. So that is the upadhi. And depending on his upadhi, he is performing actions. Because in that upadhi, he has to perform some actions. So Balarama is his elder brother. Balarama and Krishna, they also have a kingdom. So they were also rulers. So in that upadhi, he is performing some actions. So that is what he says. Though I have nothing to acquire from outside, I am performing my actions because of this limited upadhi. And Arjuna, jolly well, he has to perform his action. So that's what follows. So let us see the words. Na me partha plus asti, partha asti, kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Then nanavaptam avaptavyam. Na plus anavaptam. Then avaptavyam. Na plus anavaptam plus avaptavyam. Then varta is varte. Aham varte means I am engaged in action. Vartanam pravartanam. Varta is action. Varte, aham varte means I am into action. Varte evacha karmani. Karmani aham varte. I am engaged in action. Varta evacha karmani. So let us see the Anvaya. the first line, na me parthasti kartavyam. So me, who is talking? Krishna is talking about himself. So he says me. Me is for me, mama. Me is another form for mama. Mama kartavyam na kinchidapi asti. Na mama trishu lokeshu, in all the three worlds. Three worlds means that is bhumi, bhuvaha and suvaha. Bhur, bhuva, suvaha, that is what they say. So in these three worlds, trishu lokeshu na me kartavyam asti. Na me trishu lokeshu kartavyam na asti. This na applies to, connects to asti. Kartavyam is something which has to be done. Na asti, it is not there. Kinchana means anything, whatever little, nothing. Kinchana is nothing. I have no kartavyam whatever. Kinchana is anything. I have no kartavyam whatever. Then second line is na anavaptam. Anavaptam. Apti means attainment. Aptam means something which has been attained. Avaptam is the same. Ava is only an upasarga. Avaptam. Ava plus aptam. Avaptam. Na plus avaptam becomes anavaptam. Na plus avaptam. Avaptam means something which has been attained. Na avaptam becomes anavaptam. Anavaptam means something which has not been attained. There is nothing which has not been attained by me. Then avaptavyam. Aptavyam. Aptavyam means something one has to acquire. Aptavyam. Suppose I say, Maya car aptavyam. I have to obtain a car. I have to acquire a car. Maya gruham avaptavyam. So I say, I have to acquire a gruha. So like that, avaptavyam, something which has to be acquired. So in my case, na anavaptam, there is nothing which is not already attained. There is nothing which has to be attained. Na anavaptam, na avaptavyam. This na applies to this avaptavyam also. Na applies to both anavaptam and also avaptavyam. There is nothing which is not there, which I have to acquire. Then, but still, cha and aham karmani means in karma, in action, varta eva. Varte eva. Aham karmani varte eva. I am engaged in action only. So this is an example of the Lord himself, because the Lord, who is an avatara, who is everything, and who has nothing to get from nothing to acquire anything from outside. So even then, according to his upadhi, according to his limited role which he has voluntarily taken up, he has voluntarily taken up a limited role. So he is playing that role, and in that particular role, he is doing all these karmas. So that is what is an example. That is the thing which Krishna says here. So we will continue next.